Welcome back. You're tuned into Chartbusters. You're on CNBC TV 18. Our next guest on the show is Kesoram Industries. They reported an improved set of numbers in the past quarter on a sequential basis. Cement business, well, that continues to do well. While we have the Rayon as well as the chemicals business, that saw a bit of a reduction in losses. We're joined by Mr. Radhakrishnan, the whole-time director as well as CEO of the company, who joins us to run us through the outlook for this year. Hi, Mr. Radhakrishnan. Good morning. Thanks so much for joining in. Well, first things first, tell us what was the volume number that you saw in Q4, and you could also guide us for what is the volume target you have for this year, that is FY24, as well as EBITDA per ton. Go ahead.
Okay, so we did about close to 2 million tons of volume in the fourth quarter. We concluded with 7 million tons the last financial year. So we expect to do close to 8 million in the ensuing financial year, and somewhere between 650 to 700 is what we would give a guidance for EBITDA per ton.
All right, so roughly 15% volume growth is what you're guiding for. 7 million tons is what you've done. This against your guidance of 7.2 million in FY23. Looking at 8 for FY24 with EBITDA of 650 to around 700. What was the EBITDA per ton in the fourth quarter?
So in the fourth quarter, it was close to around 650, 700. So I'm trying to maintain the exit level EBITDA per ton.
Right. And what about the debt on your books? In FY23, what was the repayment of debt that you did? I mean, and what's the outlook going ahead?
So it is slightly below 1,700. So what is important is, which I've been talking, that we have to refinance our existing debt. So we are looking at refinancing our existing debt. That is the key for this balance sheet, because the business has stabilized and we are doing decent volumes. Of course, there is always scope for growing more, but the key for this balance sheet is to refinance the existing debt.
Okay, all right. Okay, so your net debt is around 1,700 crores. What was the reduction last year, Mr. Radhakrishnan? And I recall you saying that by the end of this year, that's FY24, fiscal year FY24, your debt will come down to around 1,200 crores odd. Could you tell us whether the timeline has been changed, or will you come down to 1,200 crores? And also the refinancing, I think you were borrowing at what, 18-19%, and that was expected to come down to low teens. By when we'll have clarity on that front as well?
That we are hoping to do at the earliest, maybe in the first quarter of this year is what we are targeting to refinance our existing debt. So it will be mid-teens. Let's be, conservative on that. Our idea is to go to low teens. So probably first to mid-teens, and then quickly in 12 to 15 months, we will target to low teens. What is important to is high teens has to be first paid off at the earliest possible time.
Could you define the earliest possible time? Is it in this quarter, the next quarter? If we
June,
look at
July is what to be specific.
So the next time you join Mangalam and me, post your results, we'll be expecting to hear the refinancing news as well, right? Because your Q1 will be done by then.
Hopefully, yes.
Okay. We are going to hold you on that, sir. I mean, anyway, let's hope you get there. But what about the debt reduction number from 1,700 crores that you're talking about? Where do you see it ended up at this year? We get refinance as priority, but what about debt reduction? You want to queue in a new number by the end of this fiscal? What will the debt number look like?
So the way I would say is 1,300, 1,400. I wouldn't look at substantial reduction of debt, because the working capital requires augmentation. So we will look at enhancing our selling volumes. So the spends have to be there to enhance our spending volume, etc. That's the way I look at it.
So 13 to 1,400 crores the net debt that you're looking at the end of this year, with hopefully mid-teens and perhaps towards the end of the year, low teens sort of finance cost itself. What about the Rayon business? The improvement is visible quarter on quarter. Losses have reduced. When does it become EBIT positive? And what's the update on the demerger?
So while the demerger progress is on, we are working on the transparent paper. There is a partnership which we are trying to work on. So once definitive agreement is in place, we will communicate the same. Currently, it is at end stage.
And when does this break even? And will you have to infuse some more equity in the company?
So the way we look at is Rayon, about 60 to 70 crores, if it is infused, it can generate 70 to 80 crores of EBITDA on an average per year. It requires a one-time infusion of about 70 crores. And the potential is very high because it is into transparent paper, which is a biodegradable. So I'm not factoring the upside which could happen once we conclude the partnership with a global major. I'm not factoring at this stage.
No, but
so
Mr.
Radhakrishnan, that if we infuse about 70 crores, we could generate anywhere between 60 to 70 crores of EBITDA without factoring in the upside EBITDA the partnership may bring in.
But when will this come, sir? Because every time you say, if we put in a particular amount of money, then the Rayon business will turn around and will look good. But when is that money coming in? Just on the Rayon business, when is the money coming in? Okay, tell us that. By when, if at all it is coming in? And the demerger timeline is by when? When will we see two separate listed entities?
So demerger, I can say, because we are giving at this stage the priority to the closing the definitive agreement on the partnership. So once we do that, the demerger will pick up steam. So this will happen mostly in the first half of this financial year. And the Rayon should be on its feet, generating positive EBITDA. By all the necessary work on the balance sheet side should have been completed by September of this year.
All right. Mr. Radhakrishnan, now is the time when we ask you the most important question. This is about whether, you are looking to buy any asset which is available or looking to sell the company if a good offer is present.
We will look to expand. Kesoram Industries is a 104-year-old company with a strong brand with Birla Shakti Cement. So we look to expand. First is, before we look at expanding or doing things organically or inorganically, it's important to bring the debt to acceptable level, both at the rate of interest as well as the quantum of debt.
Got it. Okay. All right, Mr. Radhakrishnan. So 8 million tons, 650 to 700 rupees per ton of EBITDA, debt reduction to around 13 to 1400 crores, and mid-teens in terms of refinancing interest cost comes down. I think I summed that up. Thanks so much for joining in. We look forward to having a chat with you next quarter, or maybe in the middle if you do the refinance. Please join us on the show.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.